another tour truck, Cobra tour truck for 2024 with a Dark Speed logo outside. Today, I think we're actually going to be building one of the most perfect looking irons on tour, and actually that we can all buy. Plus, on this tour truck, it is very, very cool. There's something that I've not seen also, like the players lounge on here. It's like sitting at home on your own sofa. So come on, let's go and meet Jamie. He's gonna build this iron for us. Plus, we're gonna get an exclusive look at the inside of the Cobra tour truck for 2024. Right, we're finally on the truck and have a look at this place. I have to say, this is probably one of the nicest trucks that I've ever been on, Jamie. This is class. Now, have a look at this. We're gonna be building this iron today. One of the most used irons on tour, and actually not the most. What would you say you build the most?
We probably do a lot of combo sets. King Tour is quite popular at the moment, so it's going to be a mixture between King Tour, CB and MB.
Right, so I'm going to give you that. Talk me through the process. So on here, you can literally build anything. Driver, irons, fairway woods, wedges. We have it all in here. We'll show you that in 1 second, plus a very cool players lounge. Okay, talk me through the process on here, Jamie.
So what we're going to do, we'll just tip the shaft first. Okay, sure. Obviously this is a taper tip, so we don't need to cut anything off the tip.
And all that means is literally roughing up the end, so the glue and the head stick together so much better.
How many sets are you building each week, do you reckon? Like,
it can fluctuate.
Yeah.
You know, at the start of the year when we're getting guys dialed in, we'll probably build more sets. As we go through the year, you know, you won't build as much iron sets. We'll build wedge replacements, maybe drivers if they're struggling, that kind of thing. So it fluctuates. So I'm just going to tap down the ferrule.
Yeah. It's mad what goes into building a golf club.
Simple as that.
How long have you worked on tour?
Not long, this year. So I've changed from a different company this year. So yeah.
And how many weeks are you spending out on tour?
Generally, the truck will be on the road for about 20 weeks.
Yeah.
So wherever the truck goes, I go. We have other guys who travel, so they're going to Japan. They're flying this weekend. So they do long haul and short haul. I'm just mainland Europe.
So anywhere this truck goes in Europe, you're there?
Yep.
Okay, so now this shaft's already cut to length.
This has already been cut, yep. So we're just making sure ferrule's on, shaft's been cut. Obviously, if we needed to cut it, we'd just run it through there, away we go. So after that, all we need to do is pop the grip on.
Fab, so let's do this end.
And what I've noticed, there's a huge flow to these tour trucks. You got to imagine, in a tour week, there is so many people building clubs. So having the space is key.
All in a nice flow, so it's easy, you know, if there's got multiple people working in here, we can work on different stations and be nice and productive.
And I always ask this question, because I think a lot of you don't realise, all you tour trucks, and you'll have the spec of every single player that you service and that is contracted, won't you? So you'll know, let's say, Ewan. Like, you know exactly how many layers of tape he has on his grips. Do you know how many layers he does have?
Not off the top of my head.
That would have been impressive.
We do, yeah. We service a lot of people, obviously contracted, non-contracted. So yeah, we keep a big database. Anything we build or anything that leaves these doors, we make note of, whether it's, you know, exact head weights, how many layers of tape, length, swing weight, you know, you name it, we keep it. So
I actually heard last year that the Aerojet 3-wood was one of the most popular 3-woods on tour, wasn't it?
We had a lot of non-contracted guys playing it, and we still do have quite a few guys.
Yeah.
You know, we keep some surplus stock. Obviously, we're trying to get them into the newer product. But yeah, you do get guys that, you know, especially with 3-woods, that stuff that they like, they're going to stay with it. So.
And that's the hard thing with a tour player, isn't it? Like, they just want to use a certain thing, and they don't very often want to change. Whereas the likes of me and you, we see new product and we're like, give it me, please.
Yes, same as me, to be honest.
I don't really care, as long as it's new. That's really cool. Okay, so lambkin grip going on right here. And this gripping station is very similar in all the trucks. You've got a clamp, do you use white spirit, or is it just like a...
It's a non-solvent version, so we don't have to wear gloves or anything like that. It's quite handy.
That's actually very good. Don't want to be touching that all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so once we've done that, what's the next part of this process?
So we're just going to swing weight the golf club.
I often find swing weights really interesting, just because I think a lot of club golfers don't realise, even just changing a grip, adding weight to the head will make the golf club feel very, very different.
Yeah.
So what's this going to be?
So we're going to aim for about D3.
And is that like average for a 5-iron, would you say? Do some players like it really heavy? Do some people like it really light?
On tour, generally, most guys are between kind of D2 and D5, maybe D6 if they're playing something really long. The benefit we have is obviously we can take weight and add weight.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we want to make it heavier, we can do that. If we want to make it lighter, we can do that. So It is generally a preference.
Yeah.
Everyone will have their own preference. Swing weight is a balance point, so obviously it's, a sledgehammer to a fishing rod, that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's very simple. Obviously, we're trying to make the irons all the same. At the moment, that is probably going to be a little bit light too.
So how would you then make this D3?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of weight, probably about 1 gram in there, just to bring it up to about D2.5.
Yeah.
And then obviously with our glue, that's going to bring it up to D3.
Okay, so then that makes the golf club work and feel the way said player wants it to feel.
Sorry.
I'm dying to go through these drawers. We're going to go through them in a second, which is going to be really cool. Look at all these components. Everything's very organised. Is this you on here?
Yeah.
Look at all this.
Has to be, otherwise you can't find anything. So.
Weights. And are these the weights for fairway woods then?
So we've essentially got, you've got iron weights here, we've got fairway weights there, and then driver weights down here.
I'm going to make sure I put that right back in the right one. We don't want to put it in the wrong one. Put an 8 in a 10, so we'll be very, very unhappy. So now we're making this to D2.5, and adding the glue basically brings it up to D3, exactly where we want it to be. Well, Jamie's gluing that. Let's have a look actually behind here. So let's have a look at this tour truck here. So I've actually heard this is some of the best coffee on tour. Have a look at this right here. It's actually got ground beans in there ready to go, and their own coffee cups, which is seriously cool. I've not only heard that from one person, but 2 or 3 or 4 different people that this is the best coffee on tour. Now, let's have a look at these. We've got U-Boat, we've got Jens Dantorp, Roman Langask. Let's have a look at this. I hope I said that name right, by the way. Is that right?
Langask.
Langask.
Yeah.
Oh, I made a good effort in that name. So let's have a look at this here. See if there's any cool... Ooh. Obviously got his sponsor on his towel. One of his hats. That's a really cool hat, like big embossed Cobra logo. Oh, and... don't think he'd be happy with these. These are very cool. Look at that. I'm just going through his locker here. His own AirPods, just in case he forgets them for the range, possibly. And let's have a look down here. We do have Ricky Fowler down here, Soren Kelson. Let's go in Jens Dantorp's locker. It's different. It's cool to see like different hats that players use. Look at that one. These are probably some of the hats that maybe we can buy, maybe we can't buy. But what they have on here on this truck is absolutely everything a player will need when they turn up at the start of the week. Different hats, different colours. Ricky Orange, we obviously have to have that on here. So if I press this button here, by magic. So let's have a look at this here. In here we have a PS5, a very, very bougie couch. And this is something that I think is really cool. The orange couch. Maybe a little bit Ricky inspired, maybe not, but how cool is this place right here? So players can come in here, maybe have meetings, take a bit of time to chill. The one thing I'd say with this tour truck, it feels very much more designed for the player, not just to build golf clubs. Like the welcome lounge, you come on, you grab a coffee, come and chill in here, and really just, we've even got a wine fridge. This place is seriously cool, and I'm going to say it right here. This is probably one of the coolest tour trucks that I've been on, and one of the final one this season that we will be looking at until they come around again. And you'll see all the different logos to support the different drivers this year. Okay, I know you want to have a look in the drawers, but I just noticed a few things here. Different clubs just sat in here. Wonder whose these are. Maybe players, maybe not players, maybe just staff. Right, let's go and see how Jamie's getting on in here. Dark speed driver, LS. What's the main, like, I always found this quite interesting. I think a lot of people think tour players, they just want to use LS. Is that the case? Or do a lot of players want to go down more of a max route? Because definitely to the consumer this year, the max product for all brands, especially for you guys, has been one that has been driven a lot. Like, if you think of the narrative of golf right now, golf ball might be going shorter. So the only way you can improve is actually hitting it straighter. Now that's going to help.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've definitely got a few guys. So in our X product, not so much the Max, but more in the X, and LS is still our #1 product.
Is it?
Yeah.
So what sort of player uses LS?
So essentially, we've got Jesper and Jens in LS. At the moment, Ewan is in X. Hidalgo, off the top of my head, is in LS. So majority split is in the LS.
I think this is a really good looking driver, by the way.
Yeah.
I liked how it's all blacked out. Like, especially like, I mean, this is the nicest way possible. It's a very non-Cobra product in the sense of it's not bright, it's not white, it's not got orange, it's not got yellows on there, whites on the bottom.
Yeah.
fully blacked out. Apart from like in the different models, you have a bit of red, you have a bit of blue.
A little bit red and blue, yeah.
And then this one right here, fully blacked out. Like, I really like the look of this product this year.
Looks smart.
Yeah. And I like how it's gone away from everybody else as well. Everyone else has gone for more brighter colours. This, I think, is a very, very, and probably I'm going to say one of the best looking drivers this year. And then you've got...
We've got LS fairways.
And then the bottom drawer, what's the
bottom drawer?
I see something quite cool. Proto Fairway. What's Proto Fairway?
It's just an old version of a Cobra product.
Look at that. I remember these, I'm going to say the speed rails?
Yeah.
Cool. I was testing my knowledge right here. So it's cool. Look at this stuff here. This is the thing that I find really interesting on tour trucks. Like, a lot of these trucks will have everything spec'd up, so they know exactly what weight this head is, what loft to the point of a degree. Look at all this information right here. This is just sort of things that I think us as club golfers find really, really interesting. Could you just show us fully around this truck where everything else is? So we've got fairway woods, drivers here.
So obviously we do go to links golf courses, so we have driving irons, obviously hybrids as well.
Open, that'd be very popular.
Yes. Moving on down, wedges. So all of our wedges are raw. It allows us, like we were saying earlier, to grind the wedges, change the bounce on them, change the leading edge. It's a lot easier for us.
And do most players have them tweaked, like you said earlier?
Yeah, more in the lob wedges.
Yeah.
Generally, you know, in the 50, 54, that kind of thing, it's plain and simple. But as you go up to the higher lofted clubs, yeah. CB and MB.
And we mentioned that this is one of the most used irons on tour, but what is the most used iron?
At the moment, probably King Tour. King Tour or a split set. So
it's maybe a little bit of this in there, the MB, and then the King Tour in the top, which is down in this bottom drawer. I'll be honest, I've gone for a split set. I'm still using these. And then you'd have these and maybe like 6 iron, 5 iron, 4 iron.
Yeah.
Very sensible. Why would you go blades throughout? It's the hardest thing in the world to even think about doing.
Grip, so 95% of what we carry on the truck is Golf Pride. You know, all different sizes, colours, different grip types, you name it, we carry it. So most popular is probably MCC, Tour Velvet, and then we're starting to see an influx of people using Z cord as well.
All right.
So especially with a line. So yeah, as trends change.
And I know I'm going to ask you about these grips in here. These are some grips that you can't buy, aren't they? Jens uses.
These are very difficult to get hold of, yeah. So Golf Pride Tour wrap that's corded. This is what Jens uses at the moment.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. 7 might go missing. I wish.
And then, yeah, we carry some old Victories as well, which, again, very difficult to get hold of. So, and then, obviously, on this side, this side is all of our shafts. So, you may recognise Ventus.
Yeah, I'm actually using this shaft this year.
TR Blue? No, sorry, TR Red.
Yeah. And what sort of, like, for example, out of these right here, which has been the most popular?
TR Blue.
TR Blue. Is it blue? What does the blue play like compared to the red?
So it's slightly lower launching, slightly, you know, slightly firmer essentially. So
basically, the big boy shaft compared to.
It's just different flight profiles.
Yeah.
That's all. So.
And then in here we've got the iron shafts, as you said earlier.
Yeah. So obviously we carry Dynamic Gold. We carry Project X. So all in order.
That's quite cool, isn't it? Like that brush.
The IO, yeah. So we carry the IO and the LS. And then in this last one, we carry Modus. So all of our Modus stock.
And then throughout the season, you'll keep replenishing this stock with all the brands. For example, the Project X and Dynamic Gold to make sure that you've fully got everything to service every single player.
Perfect. Yeah.
Hi, Jamie. How's this club getting on? I think we're done now.
Hopefully not far away.
Okay.
Once we waited for this glue to dry, all we had to do then is 2 more things. Just get this belt sander on the ferrule, and this just makes it nice and smooth where the ferrule meets the club head. Jamie makes this look very easy, and I'm sure it's not. And the final thing, just take all the excess away and make the ferrule look nice and shiny, the finished product. Here we go. This is what I think is one of the most perfect irons of 2024. You get this in a combo set, you could have the absolute perfect set of irons.
Jamie, thanks so much for your time.
No problem.
Thanks for showing us around. Guys, do hope you enjoyed this video, having a full look round this tour truck, a Cobra tour truck for 2024. This thing is seriously cool and one of the best ones that I have been on.